Next speaker for today is Shri Vikas Aggarwal, Partner, Business and Tech Consulting, Government and Public Sector, EY, Ernst & Young LLP. Mr. Vikas Aggarwal leads EY's engagement with the government on transformation in education, school, higher and technical education, technology-led transformation in the urban sector, including smart cities and digital infrastructure. Digital education utilizes technology to facilitate learning and teaching, providing flexible, accessible, and personalized educational experiences. It encompasses online courses, virtual classrooms, educational apps, digital textbooks, and interactive platforms. This approach supports diverse learning needs, promotes global access to education, and enables continuous learning beyond traditional classroom settings. To speak more on this, please join me in inviting Mr. Vikas Aggarwal onto the stage.
Good morning and namaskar everyone. I'm Vikas Aggarwal. I'm a partner with EY, and I must admit, having gone through the previous session, this is the only time when I love my competition, PwC and Deloitte. Otherwise, I wouldn't like to see them anywhere around me. So, before I start, I must share, this is my first visit to this city, to the ashram, and I'm literally overwhelmed. I feel blessed to be here. And I met so many wonderful people, and just to move around, go around the place, and we went to the instrumentation lab, we went to the research center, we went to the multi-specialty hospital. It was a very, very humbling experience to see so many people well qualified, well placed in life, doing things out of sheer desire to service, the will to service, the desire to service. So thank you so much for what you are doing for humanity. Also, I've been watching some sessions. I missed first half yesterday, unfortunately. I was here for the second half. I've seen some sessions from this morning. I believe Sri Satya Sai Vidya Vahini is far ahead in its thought process than I would have ever imagined. The kind of work you are doing, it's really transformative in nature. You are using pedagogy, you're using various innovations, you're using digital. So I don't think I can teach you anything. I don't think I can, go beyond what you're doing. I'll just share some thoughts of what we have been doing in EY, things I've been personally involved in, and maybe some of those thoughts might help you in your day-to-day functioning. It might help you in your transformative efforts. The first slide simply depicts what has been our tradition. Traditionally, we are a country wherein Guru leads us towards enlightenment. It could be spiritual, it could be education, it could be anything. And Guru Shishya is a parampara we have long held, we have long revered. But as we grow in size, as we grow in scale, the sheer geographical spread we have as a country, the number of people we have, number of students, number of aspirants, and especially the ones who don't have access to a lot of facilities in life, who don't have access to what probably few of us are privileged to have. How do we reach out to them? How do they find their guru? So this is where digital plays a role. Digital acts as a multiplier. Digital is not here to replace the guru. Digital is not here to replace the teacher. Digital can never replace the teacher. Teacher is going to be here, and digital shall help us and is helping us in going to more and more students. Also, one problem which we all understand and is, while teachers are there to guide the students, who shall guide the teachers? Who shall introduce them to the emerging topics? Who shall tell them about new emerging socio-economic scenarios? Who shall make them agile and alert to what is required? Who shall tell them which student is able to cope up and which student needs more hand-holding, which student needs more careful monitoring and hand-holding and development? So digital comes to our aid there also. Because in the education system, when we are saying teacher is going to lead us, teacher is leading us, teacher shall continue to lead us, digital becomes a tool to act as a force multiplier and also to go deeper into various areas. a quick look into what we have been doing as EY. We as EY have been working in the sphere of education around the world. Education is both a huge business and is also a huge social activity for us. So we have a global education practice. We have education practice in India. I'm a part of that practice. I lead a part of that practice. We work across education, ranging from elementary, K-12, to higher education, to technical education. We assist in classroom teaching, in understanding how students need to be taught. We go from there up to the policy level, how policies are made, how frameworks are designed, how policies and schemes are executed, those are monitored. But there are some of efforts wherein, we have been using digital very effectively. And you'll see example here, both from India and from around the world. And some of these examples are commercial in nature, wherein we were commercially engaged by some organizations, but many of these examples here are also philanthropic in nature. So I won't go through this, but I'm sure you'll find some familiar names out here: Diksha, NCRT, the World Bank, College Board, Inspired, BMGA, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, GEMS Education, Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy. So we have been actually trying to understand a much more deeper how digital can support various efforts in education across, and especially in terms of school education. I think one great learning point and a good transformative point for the entire world was when COVID struck us, and probably the technologies used to exist, digital was there, but we never thought we are going to use digital the way we use digital. And that has been experienced around the world in K-12 education as well as higher education, because digital came to the aid. Digital became the tool for learning continuity. It also became the tool to reach out to unexplored avenues, because people got exposed. Teachers, administrators who were hitherto aware about technology but were not very comfortable using technology had to perforce use technology. And as the comfort grew, they started understanding how technology can multiply what they stand for, how it can reach out to more people, how it can make it more effective. And this is where I think the entire game-changing movement happened, wherein we realized technology is here to stay. Irrespective of whether the mankind faces another epidemic or not, technology is going to continue to help us in our quest for education and our quest for learning. Diksha, I won't spend much time on because the NCRT team is here. We had Indu ma'am on the dais yesterday. She talked about FLN and also about Diksha. And I think the only thing which I would like to mention about Diksha, which actually was enlightenment for me, though I'm part of EY team, which has been working on Diksha for the last 7 years, and I actually felt very embarrassed that I was not aware that Sri Satya Sai Vidya Vahini is amongst the major contributor to Diksha in terms of digital content. More than 3,500 pieces of digital content uploaded on Diksha, and I think amongst the most watched content on Diksha as a platform. So thanks to you for this tremendous contribution. Mr. Sai Ram Kumar also shared with me that all these pieces have been developed by volunteers themselves. These are not commercially outsourced. So I think again a huge round of applause for that. This is a EY philanthropic effort around the world, wherein we realized that it's not only in India, but in many countries, and I was surprised, including the US and some countries in Europe, we found there's a gender disparity in terms of enrollment in STEM courses. The number of boys in STEM courses, right from school level to higher education level, was lopsided as against the girls. The boys were much more higher in proportion, and that was actually happening irrespective of the spectrum of society the children came from. Of course, the ratio was much more lopsided for underprivileged sections, but even for the affluent sections, the ratio was not a parity over there. There was a huge gender disparity. So we, as EY, we have two ways to work with the society. One, we have a global CSR, and we have in India EY Foundation. Being a LLP, we are not obligated to have a CSR arm, but we spend a lot of time and energy. I won't talk about money because money comes over there, but it's about how focused you are, how committed you are to serving the society. So as part of EY Foundation, we brought this global program to India, wherein the idea is how do we use digital to entice, to becharm people, to bring in more and more girl students. And off late, we started using the program for boy students also, but essentially it's focused on girl students. How do we use technology as an innovative tool? So it becomes more about first attracting someone with the innovation that, hey, here's a tablet, here is something which works on a phone. Would you like to have a look at that? And then gradually going deeper into how does this thing work, and why don't you think about going into a first STEM course? And what does it hold for you in future? What kind of future education it will lead to, what kind of life it will lead to, and how science courses are important in this world in which we live. So we run that through a digital app, wherein, again, we do not talk to students directly while we have a student outreach program. It's done through teachers. We go and share with teachers what this program is about, how to use the app, how do they enroll students. The target definitely, as I said, is girl child from the underprivileged section, but we encourage boy students also to come and enroll, and then we start monitoring their progress over there. What kind of content they are visiting, are they participating in quizzes? If they participate in quiz, they get rewarded in terms of stars, some small gifts also, some appreciation, some applause, some certificates, encouraging them to go deeper into science topics. And what we have started doing off late is across the country, and again, we in India are leading that. And just to mention, the highest number of enrollments actually are in India today. We have almost 1 lakh plus enrollment in India in STEM program. All of the countries put together versus India, we are far ahead. So it's a program doing very well in India. And there, in a gamification mode, we introduce science topics, we introduce mathematics, we introduce some, initial prelim concepts, and we watch the progress. And we encourage students to go deeper and wider into that. The idea is to bring them into the fold of STEM courses, and the program has received huge appreciation both from the schools, from parents, and from the government. And we intend to go forward into that. We would love to collaborate with Vidya Vahini if you think it's something you'd like us to work with you on that. So I shall discuss that with you. Another program in which we actually collaborated with CSF was TikTok Learning. The idea here was this program started way back in 2019 actually, when digital as a concept, while Diksha existed, but Diksha had become more of a compendium of existing knowledge bases. So there were, PDFs of NCERT books, PDF of SCERT books. We had, those, what we call as energized textbooks, ETB, wherein a student could scan the QR code, go on the website to learn, get some additional supplemental learning. But then there was a realization that it was not a very structured content. So CSF stepped in. We, along with CSF, worked on creating very, very well-defined structured content for various grades as per Indian curriculum, aligned totally to NCERT and CBSE. And it was a year-long program. The content was created. It was essentially video content put up on YouTube, and it had a huge success. And we got very good reviews from students, teachers, and parents alike in how it is assisting. So these are some of the ways in which digital has been actually helping in scaling up. And I wanted to cite these 3 examples in terms of when we say, how do we scale up education? You look at Diksha, a platform. You look at STEM, an application, and TikTok Learning, a YouTube-based learning content. So 3 different, I'll say, facets of technology, all 3 helping existing students in going forward. More than that, helping in bringing new students and teachers into the fold. And all 3 programs rely heavily on teachers as the right medium to go out to students. This is I've taken something which we have been involved more from periphery. So you would have heard about an organization called Genius. They have been using digital for quite some aspects of education. If you look towards the far left, your left, they have been using AI-based chatbots to go deeper to engage learners. And there's an app store. It's a free app to be downloaded. Students can ask questions. Some state government and some state education departments have adopted this as an official means also. So that's one. Then what we talked about yesterday, and I think it was talked about in many sessions, adaptive learning, personal adaptive learning, because that's the way to go, and that's an opportunity which digital provides to us. Because let's say we talk about a teacher-pupil ratio ranging from 35 to 70. Let's be practical, the way the size of population we have. We can't say all schools in India will have only 25:1, 35:1. It's going to be 70:1 also. Now, one teacher can teach, one teacher can focus on students. In general, he and she can try to see how receptive the class is. And probably he and she would be able to identify few students who are doing very well, few students who are lagging far behind. But can they keep a tab on progress, understanding level of each and every student? That's humanly impossible. And this is where technology comes in, personalized adaptive learning. Using technology tools, these tools are not very costly. Some of them are in the free world domain, so you can download. Of course, some devices are required, but I think with so many organizations coming together as part of CSR and various foundations, devices are not that difficult to get into. Personalized adaptive learning gives us an insight into each and every child's progress. It also gives us an insight into each and every child's inclination. Maybe not every child would like to do mathematics and not every child would like to do commerce. Someone would like to switch to biology, someone may not like to. So what inclination the children carry and how do you understand their level of understanding, getting an insight, what support they need. Then do they need support in terms of content? Do they need support in terms of understanding? Do they need support in terms of more learning hours? Or maybe that student is not meant to have a classroom learning, the student is better suitable for experiential learning. So personal adaptive learning gives us that opportunity. And actually, to my mind, it actually saves a lot of time and money because it tells exactly where to focus upon. So like when we visited the research center yesterday, they showed us a gamma camera which helps in focusing exactly on where the tumor is, rather than cutting through the tire. Similarly, PAL actually helps in focusing exactly to what learning assistance is required by that student, and then we can take off from there. Also, they've been doing integrated digital assessments. A lot of states have already adopted that. So there are assessments which are monthly assessments, periodical assessments. There used to be things like PATS, periodical assessment test. With digital, you can do daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. You can do mix and match. You can get a near real-time information about how a student's understanding is. To give you an example, we did a pilot in higher education, not in schools, in polytechnics in Maharashtra, wherein immediately post a lecture on WhatsApp, 5 questions used to go to all the attendees of the lecture, asking just to fill them up multi-choice question answers. And using that, we were able to check what have they understood and which part actually was not appreciated by the students. And it was almost near real time. By the time you end the lecture, within 3 minutes of that, you get a feedback back. So the lecturer, before he goes into next class, is aware what worked, what didn't work. So it's almost a near real-time feedback for the lecturer, for the teacher, and then we go forward from there. Another concept, I'm missing the name of the organization, wherein they've been targeting very, very early learners, age group 3 to 8 if you see. So they talk about a scalable, very low-cost model, wherein there is a parental engagement via WhatsApp. So rather than going into any kind of apps or website, WhatsApp, which is being used by everyone, irrespective of literacy level, education level. So given the popularity of WhatsApp, and I'm sure we all know, India is the biggest user base for WhatsApp. The number of people which use WhatsApp here, again, put together, the rest of the world can't match up to that number. So we are the biggest consumer, and I think that's made WhatsApp change its policy also. They were trying to enforce some policy on India, and the government of India said, no, it won't happen, and they had to back down from there, given the popularity WhatsApp has in India. So riding on that popularity, they're using WhatsApp as a medium to engage parents to further the cause of education. And it actually talks not only about basic learning, it also checks in terms of cognitive development of the children. So parents themselves see, get engaged, and using WhatsApp, they give a feedback back. The system sends a feedback back to the parents on what's happening. There's a lot of activities happening in the commercial world. So if you see commercial, semi-commercial, and totally non-profit world. So digital actually is being used by all 3 worlds very, very efficiently. You would have heard about Top Parent, wherein, it's about more empowerment to the parents apart from teachers. So it brings in another perspective. How do you engage parents into the education process? And again, they're totally aligned to NCERT curriculum. And it's focused towards FLN today. How do we aid efforts of government, efforts of states, efforts of organizations like Vidya Vahini towards Nipun Bharat? So technology is being used over there. So you'll find lots of examples how technology is actually being used to reach out and to scale up. This is, I know, is a very busy slide, but the idea was just to show how AI is being used today. I don't know how AI is viewed today. We may call it artificial intelligence, but to my mind, it's more of augmented intelligence today because we are not leaving everything to the machines or algorithms. So what we are saying is, yes, we know what to do, but if an algorithm, if a machine can do something better than what I can do, if it can do it flawless, if it can do it repeatedly, if it can do it faster than I can do, then where is the harm in that? For example, if I get 2,000 mails in a day and I'm able to check only 200, if an AI agent can pick up my mails, tell me that only these 50 I need to address, rest are routine mails, I don't see any harm. Because as you would see, the newer concept today, and a lot of people are talking about that, is that I'm happy for AI to do my dishes, to do my clothes, and leave my reading and painting to me. I don't want it to be the other way around. I don't want AI to do my painting and I won't do the dishes. So idea is what I excel in and what I enjoy, I'll do myself. Other things I'll give to AI. And this is the last slide. Finally, just quick glance on where all digital can help us in academics and also in administrative. So digital can help in both the aspects. I'll pick up the lower block first. In administrative section, to build capacities about various administrative functions, digital can really help us. About governance, leadership, the various functions of an organization, be it finance, procurement, inventory management, housekeeping, keeping track of students, meal management. So technology can greatly assist over there. There are lots of apps which exist in the open source world, lots of systems, and lots of, I'll say, successful examples around India and around the world. When I come to actual academics, again, education help from quality perspective, access and retention, because few years back in Andhra itself, there was a pilot done by Microsoft, wherein before a student was about to leave, basis the grades of the students, basis the attendance pattern of the student, the system was able to predict with a very, very high accuracy that this student is going to drop out in next 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, or whatever. So it actually helps in retention of students. It actually helps in building capacities and capabilities, and of course, assessments and towards employability. So that's the last slide I thought I'll share. I'll keep this slide here for you to have a look at that. These are the areas in which we work. I'm sure a lot of organizations work in these areas. Feel free to reach out to us. We shall be very happy to contribute wherever we are and wherever you are. We would love to collaborate with you on that. And with that, I think I come to the end of my presentation. But before I leave the dais, I must thank all of you again. As I said, my first visit, and I think it's a blessing to be here. And I must thank Vidya Vahini for that. I need to thank NCERT, because but for my colleague Komal, I wouldn't have come here. But for NCERT, Komal wouldn't have come here. And but for Vidya Vahini inviting NCERT, we all wouldn't be here. So thank you so much. And thank you so much to all the wonderful people I've been meeting over the last 2 days. Thanks a lot.
I think we should give a big round of applause to Shri Vikas Aggarwal for his inspiring words of wisdom. I will request Shri P. Hariharan, SSSVV Technology and Partnerships Lead, to please come on the stage to felicitate Mr. Vikas Aggarwal.